Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have part 3 of this thread discussion. So there's been a lot of dev replies on this thread. As we can see, we can scroll down. This guy's been helping the dev a lot as well, as you can see over here. And there's just a lot of good discussion on the war and peace system that's been implemented in 1.5.1, and also a lot of other variables and factors. And yeah, it's a lot of good info. So this was I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a playlist about it too on YouTube, because there's probably gonna be a couple more parts after this, because it's a good info, so why not get more of it, right? So this was the part 1. We went over this big post by the developer. He did like a before and after the changes and how they affected it and all of that. Then part 2, we went through a couple of pages. I think only one, to be honest with you. And now part 3, we are going over page 3 and whatever other pages we can get to. I want to keep these about 20-25 minutes, so once we hit that mark I will call it, and we'll do another part in the next upcoming days. But you guys do enjoy these type of videos, so I'm gonna keep bringing them to you. I'm gonna give my opinions on some of the stuff that's being said. If I can give an answer that can help people out, I will. And we're gonna read what the devs have to say as well. My nose is kind of stuffy. I think I have allergies right now, so if I sound kind of different, it is what it is, right? So, where we left off, let me just go back real quick. So we were talking about, what was he talking about? We weren't really talking about anything. Okay. So, like that comment, which is intricate as well. This is very opaque, without visibility into why things are happening. A complex system and a random one feels very similar. Agree on this. The player doesn't need to know all the details and stuff, but some hints as to what are the driving forces would go a long way towards feeling like they can make decisions that impact the world. Exactly. And it, kind of what I've stated in the other video, and I'm stating in this video as well. I don't know if it's actually stated here or not, but pretty much with the war changes, AI kingdoms make better decisions based on stuff that happens in their kingdom, right? They're more reactive. So for example, let me see where I can find this example right here. So as you can see, if you as the player wanted to make peace with well, no, let me put it a different way. So as you can see, these guys voted yes right here. These guys voted yes, and these guys voted no. And you're wondering maybe why they voted yes and no, right? So this guy voted yes because he is right next to the enemy, and his villages keep getting raided. His villagers keep getting attacked. His caravans keep getting attacked. So he wants to end the war because obviously he's losing money. These guys have properties over here and they're untouched. So there's no reason for them to end the war because they're still safe. So as a player, if you are against a big kingdom and you want them to make peace, what you have to do is just raid a lot of different settlements, even go down here and raid these settlements. So these guys change their vote to yes if a vote does pop up. So it's very cool, and like this person stated right here, it's cool to see that, you know what I mean, like that a player can pretty much make decisions that will impact the world, kind of like this, and how you want to play around raiding and stuff of that nature, right? Or you can destroy a lot of caravans, because obviously if food supply is low, they will also make peace. So stuff like that, right? Let's get back to this. I've come to like the stupid army starving, to be honest. Whatever is done to help them supply themselves better, it should also slow down the rate of their attacks equally, as then they spend more time shopping for food, so the enemy has more time to stop them or counter siege. If they just get more food or consume food less, this will increase the problem of winning factions over expanding. Yes and no. I think that some armies should starve. I think sometimes the AI should make a mistake. I don't think it's always should be super calculated. So I think a small percentage, maybe like 10% of armies, 10-15% of armies should starve. Not completely, but kind of to the point where they have to fall back, right? They run out of food. And but this part, I think the whole, kingdoms can only fight 1 or 2 kingdoms at a time right now, and they make a lot more peace now. I think that pretty much counters the over expanding as of right now. Excuse me. Truly appreciate the effort, for sure. Great work. There it is. The thing is, Mexico is in working on the campaign AI Don't believe he works on the UI, which is another part of the game that definitely needs improvements. Okay, maybe he could work on with the UI team to help make the Kingdom Diplomacy screen a little more informative. Yeah, he's getting a lot of love in the forums. You know what I'm saying? He's been very transparent. Have gotten and has shown a lot, especially this thread. He's shown a lot, and he keeps showing it. So, very good job by him. Are you working on Kingdom Diplomacy as well, or is someone else? There are things that would help slow things down as well, and at least most of it already exists in the Diplomacy mod. That works great. Okay, so there's a Diplomacy mod. Truce after war ends. We do have that. We do have that. It's very small right now, but we do have that. I don't know how many days it is, but it's just, I think it's like 2 weeks or something like that. But it's very unnoticeable if you are on like fast speed, right? Non-aggression pacts. You can't attack each other. That'd be kind of like an alliance through marriage, right? Alliances, you can call this ally to help you declare war. That would be very cool. Defensive alliances will help when being declared on, not in aggressive war. Would the smaller defender pay the bigger like guy that comes in whenever he needs to defend? Would he pay him like a daily amount? Is it kind of like that? Time limit after declaring a war. Before you can declare another war, so you don't look like a warmonger. I don't know about this one. I think if you want to play like that person, you can as well. But then, you know, AI can't do it right now, so I don't know. That's a yes and no for me. Alright, so made these graphs first to discuss each of the war and peace data. I defined each war as either an attacker win / defender loss, or attacker loss / defender win, based on who initially declared the war and who pays the tribute when peace is declared. A lot to take in from these graphs. On my initial reaction, Kazae's having a 96%. Kazae, sorry, I can't speak. Let me drink some water real quick. My bad. So, Kazae's having a 96% win rate and 0 attacker losses. I think is more proof of the obvious statement that Kazae's are OP right now and need balancing, as Mexico stated already. Yeah, they do have a crazy win rate. I think that's because just their composition is a lot of horsemen, you know what I mean, and a lot of archers on horses. And right now in single player, infantry isn't doing the best. You know what I'm saying? If you have a lot of archers, if you have a lot of horsemen, infantry aren't surviving. So, and that's what they have a lot of. So of course it kind of makes sense, right? But yeah, it should be. I don't know if they should be worked around, or I don't know if everyone else should get a little bit more buffed. You know what I mean? Well, we'll see how that goes. Most successful kingdoms: Kazae, Azerai, Vlandia, all above 65% win rate, and had the least amount of wars, and on average stayed in longer wars. I don't know about Azerai. Well, now after the patch, yes, they've gotten better, but like before the patch, Azerai wasn't doing that well for me. Southern Empire got decimated by the Kazates and Azerai. Combined, they had 16 wars against Southern Empire, averaging 34 days long. That means essentially Southern Empire was in a constant war with either the Kazates or Azerai, 2 strongest factions for essentially 4 years. I don't know about this 2 strongest factions, my guy. Unless I'm missing something, but before the patch, the Azerai were just kind of like the Sturgians. They either stayed with like 4 settlements at the bottom for the longest. They never really moved up, or they got destroyed. That's for me though. Oops, sorry about that. A little update. West and North empires looking really good. Is this after the update, or is this before the update? Because in my experience, the West, they did survive. They always survive, right? Northern Empire gets destroyed. Azerai, like I said, they keep their 4 they keep their 4 towns at the bottom of the map. Don't really move up. Sturgians get destroyed. Southern Empire does actually very good. Kazates do good, Vlandians do good, Britannians, sometimes they stay, sometimes they are pretty much out. It depends. This was before the patch. That's how it was before the patch. Now kingdoms are obviously staying together a lot longer. Sturgia is almost there with a little boost against Kazate, or Kazate nerf. They will probably be in a good place. Cool to see the 77-day war between Britannia and Kazate. That Britannia actually won. It happened in spring 1090 and in spring 1091. So close to the end of the data. The average war length was 21 days, including 0-day negotiation wars, and 23 days not including them. Okay. There were 11 0 negotiation wars, with 4 of them resulting with the defender winning. The other 7 were either the attacker getting paid for peace or the defender paying for peace. Okay. Over the 7 years, there was an average of 4.5 active wars going on in the world, with each kingdom averaging 1.1 wars at any time. The maximum war declarations I saw on someone was Kazae was with 5 in 1090 Star Britannians. Then, but that quickly moved down to the 2 wars. Changes definitely did the trick to lower the amount of wars in the world. Okay, so this is all of this that we just stated. This is after the patch. Okay, makes sense. So, a lot of different stuff you can check out. Like I said before, this all will be linked down below. So if you do want to check all these out, get all these numbers in, you got it. It's all down below. Let's see. So we got the developer, great work. Thanks for the graphs. I'll examine all. Wartime averages seem a bit short. These things will be improved with adjustments in the future. About one of your questions, there were 11 0-day negotiation wars, which oddly for them resulting with the defender winning. Okay, so this is the one we were just talking about. Answer is, in these situations, one of the factions, let's say faction Y, is already paying high tribute to faction X. They started war against faction X to not pay this. We can need some other feature here, like deciding to stop paying tribute instead of declaring war. Just after this war declaration, enemy accepts lower tribute payment if it is okay for faction Y also. Then they make peace, even still faction Y still makes a lower tribute payment. Okay, so he's pretty much saying that they do this because they've gotten bigger than the other kingdom, so they don't want to continue paying tribute to them, so they declare a war to stop paying tribute. But obviously, there should be another feature in place of this. It probably will be in the future, where they don't have to go to war to make this agreement happen. I agree war and peace declarations should be reduced. These changes should be 50% less compared to the current situation. Similarly, wartime averages should be about 50 days, except 0-1 negotiations. It is currently about 25. There are first results after developments. I will continue work on this stuff to make it improved. After developments, I will share new data sets here for comparisons. Okay, so they do want to increase the wartime because it's currently around 25 and they want it to be around 50. So there it is. He says he does not sleep. For real, he's working. He is working. What else do we have? I want to get some more dev replies. Okay. It seems right now, let's explain this. This is that one that we just saw. So it seems right now, patch 26, there's a difference of peace support and diplomacy viewing and actual voting. The first picture shows voting was suggested without paying tribute, and the support was 75 against making peace. When I checked the same time in diplomacy, viewed support for peace for 69%, so would have succeeded. Okay. So they're showing two different variables here. 69%, 75%. Oh, 69% support, but when you go into here, 75% don't support. Okay. Let me make these bigger for you guys. So as you can see right here, down here it says, hold on, 69% support. Look at that one. And when you vote, it's pretty much 75% don't support it, right? So you get kind of baited. It seems there's another bug related to another code parts there. This is a bit related to UI mechanics. Probably they sometimes get support ratios wrong while showing player. Actually, I'm not the real owner of the UI codes, but after a time when these issues are done, I can look where this difference comes. They really got this man working overtime, but good. So he will look over it eventually, but he is not in charge of UI. Okay. Ooh, we got some more code. All right. So I just had time to go over this in detail. And I really appreciate the effort you put into informing all of us. I have two questions. Doesn't this mean very high prosperity towns with limited or unstable food stocks will encourage peace in general? Okay, because the food stocks are low. The devs state, yes, you are right. In current and past versions 1.5 and below, This was the main problem actually. These versions also care food and loyalty variables. However, if there is a problem in any town, they add big negatives to the war fatigue score, which prevents declaring new wars and creating stable peace times if this value returns big negatives. It is something like war exhaustion. So he did talk about this in, I think, in part 1, if I'm not mistaken, or it might be part 2, where he stated that there was a problem in the code where if a town ran out of food, it would give you, because like there's a code of like, it goes into the positives, into the negatives, and if it goes too far into the negatives, they want to make peace. The AI wants to make peace. This is before 1.5.1. If that number goes too far into the negatives, they'll make peace. If it goes too far in the positives, they don't want to make peace, right? And having low food in towns made it go like 100k down, whatever that number is, right? Which it's not supposed to. So it was a code issue, and it was fixed in 1.5.1. So when a faction gets bigger and it has more settlements, so settlements which have problems with loyalty and food increases. So this was ending up with big factions staying in peace because their war fatigue scores was big negatives. See? I changed this method so much. You can see below, yellow codes are old, 1.5 and below. And then war fatigue calculations methods and blue codes are new. As you can see, this was the past one, and this is the new one. Let's check it out. So this is what they had before. So we had to get the score. So this was the flow to get this score. What's it called? You had a loyalty score, a food score, total hearth loss. That's for villages. These are all variables, and then you have the is it an if statement? That's not an if statement. Okay, but you do have an if statement. If this score goes below that, you add all this up, boom, 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 you get that number, and based on that number, you either choose peace or you don't choose peace, right? Now with this, as you can see, we went from just loyalty score, food score, to hearth loss to total loyalty risk, total food risk, total garrison risk, total hearth loss, total villages, total fiefs, total siege risk. As you can see, a lot more variables are added to make it a little bit more complex, right? And a better system overall. As you can see, all this extra code that was added, it goes into all these other variables as well, not just the loyalty, food, and the hearth. It also goes into all the other risks as well, which is very, very cool. Very, very cool. So the new war fatigue score calculations, food slash loyalty slash garrison slash lord party size usage ratio slash sieged rated settlements problems are counted, and at the end they are divided by the number of fiefs slash number of lords. Look at the blue part, 5. So at final kingdoms only care settlements. Hold on, I'm going to explain what he means in a second. So at final kingdoms only care settlements or lord ratios having problems, not total count like a yellow codes. This ends up better war fatigue calculation results, because if a kingdom gets bigger and if they have 2 settlements having food problems, and if they have 20 settlements, they will all they will care only 10% ratio, settlement ratio having problems, not used too directly. All right, so here's what he means by this, because the English was kind of off, but like I said before, I have no problem with that. English is my first language. It is what it is, right? But so what he means by this is before there was just a total score. Now there's a lot of ifs, and pretty much it checks how much the kingdom has grown, which it did not before. So before, let's say a kingdom has grown, like he stated right here, 20 settlements, right? But 2 settlements are doing very, very bad. Well, with this score, it wouldn't see it as, oh, he has 20 settlements, but 2 are doing very bad. It would just show 2 are doing very bad. You know what I mean? It wouldn't show the whole growth. It wouldn't show that the 2 is only 10% of the actual amount of settlements, right? But this one, it takes all the settlements into the calculation, and those 2 that were doing bad is only 10% of the whole, you know what I mean? Of the whole like ratio, as he stated, right? So this one is a lot better in terms of like they won't stay in peace, or they won't, what's it called? They won't stay in war as well. You know what I mean? So it's a better system overall, in my opinion. So I do agree with these changes. I probably didn't explain it the best way possible, but it's more, how can I say this? This one, when it came to late game, it didn't work. This one, it does work. So this one, it builds up on how much, obviously, clans, how many settlements, and all that stuff. What's it called? Any kingdom has. Yeah, to be honest, this one should be pinned. It's pretty good. Pinned list should be a short list, max 4 or 5 items. There are only development steps. Yeah, each patch have several of them. In future, there will be more developments like these. That's why it's better not to have these pinned. Otherwise, pinned lists become so crowded by time. True. Mexico, any plans to implement proper diplomacy features in game that I listed previously? I'm against placing strict rules currently. I'm a fan of the 25-day strict truce period previously because in these times there was no tribute system. Players were paying a kingdom 100k to make truce, and then 1 to 2 days later, the same kingdom was declaring war again. So these times strict rules were needed. Okay. Now we have a tribute system, and if a kingdom breaks truce, they lose tribute income. So we can get rid of the strict rules like forcing Kingdom X, Days of Truce after peace. It's better to balance things naturally if possible. So if we determine tribute amounts carefully, kingdoms will not break truce just after war is declared, except some special situations I mentioned before. About alliances feature, I have no information about this. We need to first implement revolts/rebellions. Currently, loyalty variable of settlements are nearly useless. Boom. So alliances are probably going to be in the future, not right now. As he states, revolts and rebellions need to happen first, so the loyalty feature actually does something, because it doesn't really do much right now. And this one right here, like I said before, there was a truce period, but pretty much the devs state that they don't want to make it too strict. They want the kingdoms to keep the truce because obviously they're going to keep getting money. And if they keep tweaking the system to the point where it's like that perfect amount, and you know what I mean, kingdoms stay at peace because they are getting money and only go to war on certain situations, I think that would be great. So, yeah. What else is this? What if a peace is made without tribute? Can AI still vote for war, let's say a day after? Would it be a problem to have both options implemented? Yes, two different making peace options is currently a problem. Maybe we should remove making peace from barter by paying 100, 200, 300k of money. That's why still we have 20 days of truce after war declaration as seen in the code. Okay. So 20 days, it's like a peace, okay. By the way, this 20 days rule is only applied for AI to declare wars after peace. There's no rule for opposite peace after war. So there can be quick peace agreement after war is declared now. Okay. So right after, what's it called? Okay, so what he's saying is right now that there is a 20-day truce period after you make peace after having war, but there's not the opposite. So if you are at peace and you go to war, there's not the what's it called? Hold on, am I getting that wrong? There's no opposite. Well, by the way, this 20-day rule is only applied for AI to declare wars after peace. There is no rule for the opposite, peace after war. That's written very weirdly, but yeah, okay. Let's see. I think I'm gonna end it off here. We're getting to that point, but we have a lot more to go. There's a lot of pages of this, and there's a lot of dev replies, and I'm gonna keep it going. If you guys enjoy it, let me any questions, any concerns, all of that. I do have a Patreon. There's no paywalling, no nothing like that. It's just like, you know, these videos do take time. So if you want to support me and what I do further, the link will be down below. But like always, stay safe.